Well, time flies when you're having fun. So when the sound on this suddenly started going off, this is what happened to me. And while I was at it, I did some additional tweaks as well. Hi, my name's Andy, and this is my channel, Modeloco, for all things model railway. Please give us a thumbs up and subscribe. It won't hurt the bank balance. Here's just a little video about my Prince of Wales P2 with a steam generator. Obviously, there's a lot of wiring that goes through the linkage into another decoder in here to operate the steam. But I did notice when I was running it round that the P2 can stop on unfog points and things like that. And so I did think about adding a power bank, and I've waited for the new Hornby smaller ones to come into stock. But I was running it round doing some other filming yesterday, and just to steam it down, and I noticed that the sound started to go on and off. I thought, well, is it an update at first? And I made sure that was running on the latest version. Then more concerning still, was it the Loco to tender connection? Yes, I could send it back to Hornby for a repair and pay the postage, and Hornby are very good at paying that back. Some companies don't, so watch for that. Or could it be something that I could resolve myself? And to cut a long story short, I found that it was the sugar cube speaker. Now these are wired into the circuit board underneath the decoder, not plugged in. And I was finding that when I got it stripped down, I could just play around with this tab here and the speaker sound was going on and off. I had a spare speaker that I have built up with a rather large bass chamber here. So I plugged that into the socket here and the sound came back on again as usual, and that socket is there. So what I thought was, I don't want this to be coming on and off intermittently, but I thought with every decoder that we get, whether it be the 21 pin or the 8 pin, these HM7000 decoders come with a sugar cube speaker, and a lot of Hornby models, especially the TT120, come with a sugar cube speaker already in, so I've quite a few spare. I keep them in a jam jar. So the idea being that this one that has a plug on the end will now attach to the decoder itself, and this one just needed snipping off. The danger being that if I did all that and it didn't work, how do I explain that to Hornby and try and send it back and get them to repair it? But having done the assessment, I realised that 99% sure this wasn't working. The bass chamber is built in here, so I didn't have to take this off. I just had to pull the decoder off, chop the wire where it's soldered onto the PCB here. Then I removed this speaker with its sticky fixing from the bass chamber, eased it off with a jeweler's screwdriver. Once we've got rid of the faulty speaker, we could then take the replacement sugar cube or spare with the plug and the protective sheath. You peel that back, put that onto the bass chamber exactly the same way as this one came off, plugged the speaker in, coiled the wire up underneath, push the 21 pin decoder back on nice and gently, making sure you've got all the prongs lined up. And now I'm also fitting a power bank. And when I look into the top of the tender, which is held on not by a tab at the back, but 2 screws here and a screw here, and they're located at these points here. So the power bank should sit in that recessed area at the top. And I thought, just to hold that in place, I'll put a little bit of black tack as I offer it back down. And that's what I'm doing now. So I'm going to put it up to that corner. And then hopefully all the wire will just coil up and be good for me and go back down. And there we have a new speaker in and power bank. Untoggle the locomotive. And yes, people have called out these couplings here, loco to tender, but no, it's not that at all. Keep your screws safe, of course. We can offer those back in. Not to nip them all up straight away. I'm just going to leave that one there for a moment. So if you've got that problem and you have got one of those speakers like me on this steam generator model of P2, you could possibly have the same issue as I've had here. Quite a simple resolve. Certainly a lot easier than sending it back. Don't want to be forcing this down, obviously, but no, that's going in nicely. Get that other screw in and then we can give it a final nip. And I have been doing a lot of catching up with adding lighting, passengers, magnetic couplings, So do keep your eyes peeled in the coming days for these and sourcing those passengers, because you can pay a fortune from certain people, and I'm not going to do that. But you can get good quality passengers now on the market. Usually on these plastic tenders, you take this screw out and it unclips like that. But this one has got a screwed end. And then all we do at that point, push the NEM dovetail in. That all's with a good transition fit, and we should be back up and running. We can offer this, just get it lined up, and it clicks. And I've noticed as well that these look like the smaller sugar cube speaker that comes in the Era 1 Locomotion one. To be honest, I think they've upgraded these sugar cubes because these look a lot better. We can now put it on the track. The downside with the HM7000 system is it does take quite a while to connect. So sometimes I just run in DCC mode and use my Digitrack system. But that being said, I've no complaints. There we go. You can still see there's still steam in there. Even though I've been running it down and running it down, it steams forever, does this P2. A lot better. Okay, I can't say I'll make it all the way, but that's what we want power banks for, isn't it? And they'll just keep on going over those unfrogged points and no hassle. Job's a good one. Thanks for tuning in. Give us a thumbs up and subscribe. It won't hurt the bank balance. Helping me to help you to help others. And I am an independent modeller. I'm not financed by any major retailers or certain manufacturers. I just do this because I love the hobby. I love modelling, and consumers like you and like others, like myself, let's move this forward and stay positive. Keep this hobby growing for generations and generations to come. Are you with me? Well, happy modelling. Until the next one then.
Takes the throttle for another run. Casey Jones, steaming and a rolling. Casey Jones, you never have to guess. But when you hear a tooting of the whistle, it's a Casey at the throttle of the Cannonball Express. Casey Jones, steaming and a rolling. Casey Jones, you never have to guess. But when you hear a tooting of the whistle, it's a Casey at the throttle of the Cannonball Express.